You know my feeling on Russell Westbrook. I am not a hater. I'm a realist. You were wrong. I was right. But that's not what this show is about. He is an all-time athlete. I would vote him into the Hall of Fame. In his prime, I would have paid to watch him play. I can say that about very few athletes. But Westbrook has horrible judgment, is a terrible shooter, and has zero self-awareness. Self-awareness, I will tell you, young broadcasters, will save your job or get you good ones. Westbrook, as a basketball player, has none. Great example last night. Oh, forget the fact the Lakers blew a 26-point lead. I don't think they'd ever done that before. I'll get to that later. So at the end of the game, Lakers trailing, inbounding the ball. Oklahoma City, a really young player for Oklahoma City. We'll show the video here. He steals the ball, and he goes down, and he dunks the ball, and Westbrook unraveled, does what Westbrook does. He's very upset. He tells the kid, you can't be doing that. You can't be dunking and showing off, which is ironic. Westbrook, who still is the worst shooter of threes in league history for a guard, still cranks them up 4 times a game, is telling somebody else what shots to take. Isn't that interesting? Mr. Awful Shot, Mr. Bad Judgment, Mr. Bad Shot, telling a kid, yeah, you shouldn't shoot this shot. That's like Jameis Winston lecturing people on bad picks. Here's Westbrook after the game, why he was so upset with the kid.
How I play the game, and, I'm more old school, and like that happen, I don't let it slide. So, I take it on the chin and move on, but, again, in basketball, certain things you just don't do. Like in baseball, there's certain things you just don't do in sports. Game already over, and I didn't like it. Simple as that.
Interesting. Let's rewind the tape to 21 seconds left in the game. Lakers down 3 out of a timeout. Let's watch what happens here. Out of a timeout. You know this wasn't the play that was called. 3 seconds, 21 seconds left in the shot clock. And the worst three-point shooter in the league shoots a 3. Is that what Frank Vogel dialed up? There's a saying in the NBA, open for a reason. Oklahoma City doesn't even attempt to guard him here. Watch this. They back off. They're begging him to shoot. 3 seconds into the shot clock, right out of a timeout, Westbrook takes and misses. He's shooting 17% this year on 3. This is the guy that is lecturing a kid, playing at home, sealing a win on what shot to take? You got to be kidding me. Like, new rule on the show. Russell Westbrook can do a lot of things. He can never tell any other player what shots to take. That's just a new rule on the show. And I don't want to pick on him, but the NBA didn't start really keeping stats until 1977, 1978, tracking individual turnovers, which is weird. Like, the NFL didn't track sacks, like until the 70s, which I always think is crazy. Deacon Jones would have gotten credit for so many. And the NBA didn't track individual turnovers until like the late 70s, which is always crazy to me. But once they did that, they have had 11 games in league history where a player has recorded a triple-double, committed at least 10 turnovers, and shot less than 50%. Westbrook has half of them. He is a tsunami of bad judgment, bad shots, and out-of-control unraveling basketball, but he's also wildly talented. And in his prime, I would have paid to watch him play. And I do think he gives you minutes and passion. He loves the game. I'm in on that. But he can't tell other guys what shots to take. Jameis Winston can't lecture anybody. Sam Darnold can't lecture anybody on interceptions. Johnny Manziel can't lecture guys on bad judgment. Jameis Winston can't lecture guys on pick sixes. By the way, just to throw this out, LeBron was out. And there are those who would suggest that LeBron could have played last night, but he kind of wants to sit out because he kind of wants to watch the Lakers without him to see if he can trust Westbrook with the ball in his hands. The Lakers lost a 26-point lead to the worst team in the league last night. Why is that noteworthy? Because until last night, the Lakers were 230-0, up by 25 points in basketball games. Westbrook arrives. They blow their first game leading by that much. New rule. Westbrook can do a lot of things. I'm not saying he can't shoot, but he can't tell other players, I don't like that shot. I don't approve of your shot. Dude, you want to talk about old school? The old school basketball that I remember, guys who couldn't shoot didn't shoot. You can't shoot, you shoot a lot. Okay?